We'll try to have somewhat similar kind of draft along with Greymane having Sake on Greymane. Maybe they don't even need the double support anymore because of course they have Avatar now. But seeing Tyrael already into their team comp, I would say just go with the similar one from game number 1. Greymane of course great for racing for the Immortal too. So I'm pretty sure Miracle is thinking, do we just grab Li Ming and a solid tank or a support, or do we actually have to steal Greymane away from them?
I think those are the two big choices here. Greymane Uther really takes away what Black has, but if you do that, then Black could potentially end up drafting Illidan. Let's not forget that's a strong possibility here still. And they're going to take Rhaegar. They've been prioritizing Rhaegar quite highly, in fact, taking it very early before the ban phase. I think they're going to look to ban the Uther yet again. That's their strategy. They've also taken Dahaka, which was never going to be a part of Black's draft with how they've done it already. You don't ever run Dahaka and Abathur together. It doesn't work. But let's see what Black will do now when the ban is given to them. I think that it's a tough ban because Li Ming is a safe move, but it's not necessarily where Miracle is taking this one. And if you do that, then you give Miracle the opportunity to go a little bit more dive heavy. They're going to go with the safe move, though.
I think Dahaka was actually a likely chance for Black to grab because those isolations once the Genji or Illidan, something like those dives come, some heroes like those dives comes in when Illidan, not Illidan, isolation comes in super handy. So I think that was a steal away also to have a solid drag, some CCs available for the team, and they will also ban Greymane. So instead of taking away, they use the ban card, but there's also lots of tools available. I was actually feeling a Tracer a little bit coming out from Black, but this time they're going back all the way Vala and Uther.
Vala, Uther with the Abathur and the Tyrael. Could still be potentially a last pick Illidan. We're looking for the hero of Rich right now, as will be Sake on the Abathur. So Rich could still lock in that Illidan for the final pick. Won't have double support, but we'll have pseudo supports from the Symbiote and the Tyrael. Let's not forget Zeratul is also an option in this situation. Not very strong against Genji in particular, but something to consider. Miracle needs more range damage now, and Vala's taken away. The Li Ming is banned. Greymane is banned. It might even be another Falstad draft we see here, but it's not his best map.
So they lost all their cards, and sometimes Sergeant Hammer is the option they choose to do so. Miracle always loving Sergeant Hammer whenever nothing's available.
Yeah, I was going to say Hammer is probably where we go with this. Hammer and Muradin. So this feels very MVP Miracle-esque.
Yes, it feels very MVP Miracle. When no other team, there used to be lots of teams running Hammer back in even earlier this year, but not anymore. Only Miracle keeps on using Sergeant Hammer like that. So that's MVP Miracle. And last pick, Arthas to finish off. Basically, it's going to be protect Vala, let Vala do all the damage, and let's win the game.
It's going to be a lot of risky moments for Sergeant Hammer, but I think the draft that Miracle has does do well for her. They have Rhaegar, they have the extra pressure from Dahaka. Rhaegar can help keep Hammer alive, Muradin can help keep Hammer alive, and Vala does decent damage, but it's going to be a Q build, so killing Hammer, bursting Hammer down, getting on top of her, even if Howling Blast goes off, if the positioning is good for Miracle, it will be tough to get those kills, and the poke is very strong with Sergeant Hammer available. Guys, let's go into game number 2 to see if Miracle can turn this series around, or if Black is going to match point. In blue, Miracle, Judy on Muradin, Dami on Dahaka, Jaehyun on Rhaegar, Crazy Moving on Genji, and Sniper on Sergeant Hammer.
And in red, MVP Black. Reset on Vala, Sake on Avatar, Kyocha on Uther, Rich on Arthas, and Tuss on Tyrael.
Okay.
It will be solo.
It's going to be, it looks like a gank attempt onto Arthas, but he is just going to stay behind the gate because that's what safe people do. Going to harass him. So a lane swap here. Taka goes bot. Looks like Miracle's just trying to throw Black off in the early game here. Black will respond, having Vala actually in the bot lane for now. We'll see the slow rotation that will change. Very likely eventually into Tyrael.
I like this lane swap. Really forces Black to also think about the lane swap and have them go around, force the rotation going around, wastes a lot of time. Meanwhile, Sniper can do some siege damage, just like they don't have to take the tower down, but as long as they keep on doing some damage, I think this is a brilliant strategy with Sergeant Hammer, because they're used to it too.
Yeah. Okay, Tist is actually getting very low. Symbiote is on him. He will survive. They're going to try to turn this around. Sniper maybe the first to fall. He is. Rich gets that empowered auto off there and will finish the hammer. So it looks like things will stabilize. Obviously, the bot lane is massively won currently, as Tyrael is going to have to go back and deal with that, or at least that was what was likely to happen. Looks like he's just going to Hearth Home, and it will be, in fact, Rich who does solo lane on the Arthas. Looking for Tommy right now. Tommy's not in the bush. He's hiding behind the gate. As everyone on Black was missing, he was playing it safe. So now, when all is said and done, I suppose, sure, Black got first blood. Miracle got a slight EXP lead before that. But it is going to be just straight up lane swap. Like, the solo lane's going to be at the bot, but that doesn't mean anything. There's nothing really different about how this map plays. It's just the standard is the top where it's solo, and it's going to be solo bot right now.
I think Sniper's having a bad day today. And his positioning, usually his personal individual decisions were a little better, but getting caught by lots of CCs, and Black really, I think they are feeling that Sniper's not really playing his 100% tonight and going for that gank attempt every single time.
Well, Rich is going in hyper aggressive, gets the triple root here. Sniper is the target, as you say. Positioning not his best point tonight, but they will eventually bait Rich in. They get the good hook here onto Test. Should be the double kill. So very well done by Miracle, taking a risky situation for them, but turning it around. Perhaps Black being a little bit overconfident. Sniper's positioning again. I mean, I don't think you can get more questionable than that. But he does escape just barely at the end of the day. That was a close call for Sniper.
Rich was a little bit aggressive. He wanted more kill with the Avatar hat on top of him, and he went to the left side without his teammates right next to it. So that cost him big, and of course, without the solid tanks in the front, they started falling apart. Rich, not that Rich made a big mistake, but I think they're just pressuring in because they know they're having their day so far.
Yeah. I think also it was, I wouldn't say it was as much of a mistake by Rich as a miscalculation and a good punish by Miracle. Okay, Judy does have to Dwarf Toss away, aggro's the Shaman camp just briefly, but they are going to win this battle with the Q Vala coming in. Reset will get the last shots there. Just barely won, but you have to hyper aggressive dive like that as MVP Black. They've got Abathur on the map, so even then it was, the symbiote was enough to make them win that battle because Rich's roots Rich's roots have been so good that you know, the fights were always so immobile, and it's Genji who's getting rooted a lot of these times, and that's one of his biggest strengths is his mobility. Another root, speaking of which, coming through here.
Oh, look at Judy's positioning as our observer is trying to highlight that.
It's coming over here. Doesn't get anything with that Stormbolt.
Does not hit the Q, but let's keep an eye on Sniper's positioning. Does get rooted again once more. Rich's roots are pretty good, and Judy's just trying to stall some time. I think it's working so far. This is very low. The focusing is not there. Maybe
Dami's
Judy will be the one going down.
Dami's coming in. He wants to turn this.
Survives.
Dark Swarm doing some to try to get the slows here to get the picks. Crazy Moving going in deep. Good deflection damage, but he gets rooted again, and that's going to be the death of him. Tyrael's expiration there will actually make it a 1-for-1 trade. Rich is hitting these roots like his life depends on it right now. Speaking of hitting things, Kyocho will get the heal here. Will he survive? Sniper's got the range, gets the kill. And MVP Black, I think, is pushing it too far.
Here with the Avatar hat on top.
And the heals, but it's not going to be enough. I think MVP Black is pushing the boundaries too far with some of the things they're trying to do. This is not, you know, a bottom-tier team they're dealing with in Miracle. To give the respect, especially against this comp that's running the Murden and has the Dahaka. The slows, the big hooks, and you know, just locking in members. With the CC, the flanks we're seeing from Judy have been pretty impressive so far. Bot lane was damaged quite a bit too. Miracle actually accomplished a lot down there because Abathur is the only one there. And sure, he's going to get the soak, but a lot of structural damage done.
Here we go, just pulling in big, and he's been doing so much damage. Rich soaking so much, but the heals come in when he has the armor. Seems like the sync with Rich having to be playing Arthas is not so perfect since he is always so aggressive as a tank. He used to know when to go and when to come back, but sometimes there was no coming back when Kyocha does not have the heal, does not have the sustain, as Uther's healing cooldown is pretty long.
It's a very long cooldown. It's the weakness of Uther. Burst is strong, but the cooldown is, you know, what makes it so important to choose your targets carefully. So we're going to see Rich and Abathur swap. So Sake goes back to the top lane. Rich actually deals with this. I was talking about how the structural damage was against Abathur for a little while there, but at the end of the day, because Dahaka had to back twice and was in that top lane for so long, it actually ends up being a one lane down there for the time being. And Abathur's just going to go top to avoid that pressure. As we see, the race here is actually massively in favor of Black. Dahaka wasn't there the entire time, is trying to make this Shaman Camp push worth it. But it's going to be a pretty expensive trade here if they end up losing most of this Immortal health.
And very nice positioning for Black here also. Kivala to clear the camps, and they're actually looking for kills, just diving in, doing so much more damage.
Another root. Not going to matter in this case. Accuracy is just a thing of beauty regardless.
But the Kivala, the racing potential is too big. And Miracle, they can... Okay, they decide...
They just want to eliminate shields. They've already given up on this one. Just going to let this one go. Black is close to 10. If they end up trying to take a fight where Black already has the positional advantage, they lose the fight, they lose 10, and then they don't have 10 to defend. A more heavily shielded Immortal than the one we see now. So I respect the choice for Miracle. It feels like fighting a losing battle to engage there, but it feels like losing a battle slowly. It feels like you're just getting burned out of the game when you make a choice like this, but sometimes those are the hardest choices to make. And Miracle will just have to try to sit and soak for 10. With this wall completely eliminated and the strong minion wave that's here, this fort will certainly go down. This is going to be a keep Immortal, and we'll start to damage the keep wall very shortly after this. In fact, we'll keep its health, its shield up for so long to continue to do range attacks because of the minion wave. So here comes the push. Top lane just being soaked right now by Genji and Dahaka to try to, as quickly as possible, get that level 10.
They will do so much more with this, and I'm pretty sure they are looking for the keep. Dahaka has been soaking so much EXP for Miracle, but still, they're down a full level and more. They just hit 10. They can make the engage. Dahaka can join in anytime, and Judy, I think he's looking for the perfect positioning.
Okay, they wanted to get Sniper. Unfortunately, they couldn't get the combo off there. Rich is diving in very deep, gets the armor here, but we'll need to kite back. Judy's positioning is incredibly good here. Isolation is used, but Sanctification is going to make it all bad here. Great dash away for Crazy Moving, who gets the Ancestral. He is trying to use the Dragon Blade to pop some resets. Unfortunately, though, this fight is already turning for MVP Black, and they have eliminated the keep.
Well, Uther.
Some extra heals there.
I think they had to sustain, and after coming out of there's another route. They're looking for the kill. Even the cleanse going down. Crazy Moving is so low, barely survives.
Interesting choice of Isolation. We're seeing it a lot more recently in Korea right now over the adaptation. Helps you deal with hyper carries like the Bala. Another great route here to help the escape. But the battle was won for Black. They end up now with the keep advantage for the rest of the game. They got it so early. And because they had that nice window of time where Miracle had to soak top, they had to get 10. It meant that with the minion wave they had, it was going to be such a great Immortal. Oh, look at this, the triple root. Follow-up stuns coming out from reset. Unfortunately, not enough damage to get the kills.
Dahaka Isolation comes in, but seems like focusing is a little bit off for Miracle. That was close, but not enough, and Genji went down. So no more reset. Sergeant Hammer has been harassed by Tyrael this entire time during the team fight.
Hook. Oh, goes wide. Sorry, I said hook, I meant root. Howling Blast there. If they get that pick, maybe they can end the game, but everyone's so low on mana, especially reset, so just going to go home and set up. They have the talent tier advantage. We're going to see the next Immortal spawn soon. It's crazy that Tist himself was able to get the double there. It's just playing great Tyrael, man, and Rich is empowering everybody with these roots. Either forcing Sniper when he's out of position to fall back, or basically, he's not really getting the kills on the Sniper, but he's always almost getting the kills, which forces him to Hearth. And he's also helping the retreats. I mean, Rich has shown some good Arthas play here, And now they're just going to try to invade. They know everyone is nearby because of the camp. And because of the Abathur toxicness. In fact, not going to contest near the camp, but look for the pick onto Dami instead. Does get stunned here, and that is going to be the pick. No way out now.
That was close. Dami almost escaped that, but this came in like, well done by Black, but without the Haka now, without that isolation, there is no way of fighting. And Immortal spawned. They may have to give this one up entirely again. Again, that will be a keep.
Well, let's see what Miracle wants to do. They have one more chance, I think, to win a team fight. And if they can do that, then they can win the Immortal and survive. This Immortal gets much more shielding. Like, they have to go now. Like, they cannot wait. Dahaka actually needs to be coming in for the flank. If they can't crush this team fight, then the game just, it ends. This is it right now. This is their only chance. They have to take this fight. Even though they're down in talent here, they just got 13. Dahaka just got them 13, so my statement no longer accurate here. On the first missed route of the game from Rich. And Black is actually just not willing to give them the fight that they need to take. Look at that damage on a Crazy moving. He's out of the fight now. Now this means Sniper gets out of position. Does get rooted, but gets cleansed here by Jaehyun. But this means that Black is now in position to kill the last parts of the Immortal. Killing the Judy or no. Sanctification is great here. Okay, here comes the dash in. Isolation is used.
Isolation used onto the clone Luther. And so the healing doesn't come in. Gocha survives within all the time, but Divine Shield is still available. Doesn't even have to use it. They're tearing MVP Miracle apart.
Oh, Sniper is caught here. Finally, he will go down. Black dominates the fight. Whether they get another kill or not doesn't matter at the end of the day because this Immortal will be fully shielded. And they can just walk to the keep. They can walk to the core without finishing the Immortal at this stage. As Judy gets body blocked out, will get the Dwarf Toss over the gate. But 25,625, 25,000 health on this Immortal. Full shields as it marches down the top lane. Everyone's grouped up to shove it, and everyone respawns for Miracle. They have to deal with this catapult in the bot lane before they can even deal with the top push. And defending this is just an unlikely scenario. They have Hammer with good range poke, but they have to have Genji to dive in, which is so difficult when Rich has been so on point with his Howling Blast. Abathur's just sitting in the bot lane, aggressively pushing that with his Locust. Rich gets caught here, actually, though. This is an opportunity. Where's Divine Shield? Nowhere nearby, actually, so that's a good start here for Miracle. Can they make this happen? It's essentially a 5v3 fight now. The clone is available.
So they're not really fully engaging in, and that's the time where Reset can start poking in with those Qs. Nice drag onto Kyocha. May actually get a kill, but barely survive with Tist Holy Ground coming in.
Yeah, he didn't even have to Divine Shield himself. He's going to Divine Shield Bala now instead. Okay, this Immortal still at full health. No more shields. We'll go into melee range. This is the best opportunity for Black. Judy in the backlines here. They're going for Reset. Instead of trying to get the pick onto Kyocha, knowing his heals will be so much greater if he dies. Judy just barely gets out here. Crazy moving. Will we be able to say the same of him? No, we will not. He's taken out. And Sake has the clone expired. The core is under attack. The respawn of Rich is here. He's walking across the map. Miracle has to make a crazy last stand right now. Dami will survive. Sniper's doing so much damage.
Now this one is a good sync. Very good sync. So far it was not the perfect sync, but another kill there. This will be a core. This will be the end of the game. Even this entire fight, this entire thing was without Rich at all. It was a 5v4 with Avatar Hat for Black side, and still, I know they're talent down, but where did things start to go wrong for Miracle? Let's start.
I feel like things started to go wrong when they were indecisive against the Abathur comp, and they had a great start to the map. They pushed into the top lane to that really cool lane swap where they had the soul lane in the bot. Dahaka got the extra soak. They did a lot of damage in the early game to the walls, and then they just never really punished the Abathur. Dahaka was down there, but never threatened him, never went very deep, never really tried to push the boundaries there. They tried to take a few bad fights, but Rich, he hit every single Howling Blast, and Sniper's positioning was quite frankly not good enough to be on Sergeant Hammer in this comp. I don't think they wanted to run the Hammer, but with the Greymane they removed, with Vala already taken, who was the other one? Li Ming was removed, so you didn't really have very many options where you were playing a comp that ran Genji, but you couldn't run dive, so you had to get poke. Genji's poke is terrible, against the Immortals in terms of range. So they had to pick something with range. That's why they went with the hammer. But Arthas was already taken away from them. It was never going to be a good situation with the comp that they had. If Sniper positioned a lot better, I think we could have had different results. But he was always just in range of those roots and almost died so many times. And even if the pick doesn't go on the Sniper, even if he doesn't die, if he has to go home, then he's basically dead. He's not there anymore, and you're losing the Immortal phase.
You can't really go beyond the Siege mode since the other side, the MVP Black had a team call where they dove in, and Sniper, of course, was forced out every single time killed. But we will have a short commercial break before we go into game number 3. It may be the end of the series, but let's see you guys in 5 minutes.